true, there was something knocking at my door. This happened about 2 years ago, near the end of September. My aunt and her friend decided to fly up to New York from Panama to enjoy their mini vacation with my parents and I. Although many strange and paranormal experiences have happened to me ever since I was little, this event stayed with me and affected me more than the other experiences. Here's the thing, many things have happened to a lot of my family members, especially my aunt and her friend. We will get back to that later though. So, it was around 10:30 at night. Keep in mind that my old neighborhood was a very calm and quiet place. Since I live near the countryside, not much action happens in the neighborhoods. The neighbors were either elderly or young couples with smaller children. None that could cause trouble around the neighborhood. There were only about 20 to 25 houses in the entire neighborhood I lived in. Moving on, the three of us decided to stay up late to watch scary movies while my parents slept upstairs in their room. My aunt's friend was sitting near the slide doors leading to the backyard, while my aunt and I were sitting on the bigger couch near the front door. I was sitting on the left side where the door faced, and my aunt sat on the right side of me, which meant I was closest to the front door. We spent about 10 minutes debating on which movie we should watch. After those 10 minutes, we finally chose to watch Odd Thomas's, which was not really a scary movie, but it was about a guy who could see spirits and demons. What a coincidence. We were only 2 minutes into the movie when I had a sudden urge to look at the door. I glanced back at my aunt and her friend, only to see them staring at the door as well. I looked back at the door for about 5 seconds, and then a loud bang came, and then another one following after, and then a third one. All 3 bangs came from the front door. Almost as if 5 people had just body slammed into the door 3 times. I thought it was going to fly off of its frame. My first instinct was to run to the kitchen and grab a knife, but as I was about to do that, my aunt grabbed me by my shirt and told me to stay down. As I looked to my right, I saw my aunt's friend with her knees to her chest rocking herself back and forth, while my aunt just kept her gaze towards the door. While all 3 of us kept our attention to the door, next to it there were 2 small rectangular windows on either side of the door. The right window had a small curtain, and the left side was being covered with a small decorative tree. The small curtain had a gap in between it because it was glued onto the window from the top area to the bottom area, leaving the middle part to loose. At the moment of the bangs, it caused the middle area of the curtain to puff up slowly and then quickly press against a window, leaving it wrinkled. After that, we were all silent. All of us were terrified. My aunt denied being scared, but at that moment I could see nothing but fear in her face. I wanted to run upstairs to get my parents, but I was too afraid to go up the stairs because it was right in front of the door. All I could do was text and call them, but they were too deep in their slumber to hear their phones ring. My aunt told the 2 of us to calm down and dismissed it as the wind. We all knew it could not have been, but in order to stay calm, she made up that excuse. And I must say that it was totally cliché. The next morning I told my mother about the previous events. She brushed it off by saying it must have been a bear or a deer. Another cliché thing to say. We both went outside to inspect and found my mom's decorations near the front of the door thrown off to the side. There were no scratch marks or bumps on the door. Everything seemed normal except for her decorations laying on the side. When the 3 of us looked at the door the night of the event, there was not anything that could have caught our attention. Since the woods were 40 meters away from my house, we would have heard the trees moving with the wind, but we heard nothing. The movie was playing at that time, but it was strange how we all felt a sudden urge to look at the door, almost as if we knew that something was about to happen. The bangs were extremely loud and caused me to jump up from the couch. It could not have been kids playing a prank on us because I had been living there for about 3 years, and nothing like that had ever happened. Plus I knew the neighbors well enough to know that they had never done such a thing like that. There were exactly 3 bangs, one after the other. One could have honestly caused the door to fly out of place, but thank God it did not. What about the curtain? The only explanation we could come up with was that the impact of the bangs created the wind, causing the curtain to react that way. But why did it inflate slowly, if the bangs were rapid, and then suddenly cause it to go against a window so fast after the bangs were over? My aunt thinks that the wind must have been knocked off of its course. That's why we did not hear the trees moving and created huge columns of wind, and that must have caused the door to move so much. The gust of wind must have gotten inside the house from the cracks of the door, leading the curtain to puff up. Personally, it does not make sense and sounds like total BS to me. She also mentioned she saw a shadow outside, but she does not have an explanation for that. I did not see a shadow outside though. My mother came up with an excuse as well. She said it might have been a deer or a bear. But why would a deer or a bear bang their head or entire body for that matter into a door? Like I previously said, there were no scratch marks to prove it was an animal. No animal could have caused those 3 loud bangs. We have had deer sightings in that neighborhood before, but none that have acted in such strange behavior. Usually they would all run back into the woods. Bears are out of the question. Not once have there been sightings of them. I should also mention that we had the lights from outside on. Why would an animal come that close to a house, especially a door that is clearly being illuminated by a light? Like I said before, animals, in general, are out of the question. As I mentioned before, my aunt, along with my mother, have had experienced many unexplained events, and they believe in the paranormal. I think the only reason they tried to make up an excuse for this situation was to prevent me from becoming paranoid and afraid. It's pretty late for that now since I have had my fair share of experiences as well. Now to my aunt's friend. My aunt told me that when her friend was younger, she suffered from really bad night terrors. She said she saw things. Demonic identities as she described them. She had wake up screaming and crying. It was traumatizing for her. Her family had always been religious, and they prayed for her every night, and slowly those things haunting her went away as she grew up. That really creeped me out and led me to believe that she might have brought or attracted that thing to my house. Or maybe it could have been something else. I hope this never happens to me again. Please let me know if you guys think it might have been the wind that could have caused those 3 extremely loud knocks at my door, or an animal. Or some kind of creature.
Stop. It ends when I say it ends. Now, be a nice human and scroll down and hit the like button. And if you are not subscribed yet, subscribe now. Thanks for watching.